Hello, everyone. It's Mark Gillian again, and I want to welcome you to Your New Favorite Song here on AIM Country Music Television. My guest today, a Northern California girl, is Cynthia Renee. She's opened for Uncle Kracker and Chase Bryant. She's performed at the New York Metropolitan Pavilion. Cynthia has performed the national anthem for NBA and NASCAR events. Her music is unmistakable as country music, but her voice and delivery give it a blues rock flavor. Cynthia is here today to talk about the video for Working on a Hangover. So let's get her in here right now to talk about what might just be your new favorite song. Cynthia, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. It's nice to finally meet you in person, so this is great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we've been playing your music for a little while, so our audience is actually familiar with the voice. This is the first chance for us to really get to know who you are as a person. So I'd love it if you just go ahead and give us the full story. Take the floor and tell us all about Cynthia Renee.
Yeah, so I've been singing my whole life since I was probably about 9 years old. I got started in my grandpa's church, like many others, and traveled around, started singing at different churches. And then as I grew older, I actually earned money to get through college, or at least some of the money to get through college. Parents helped with the rest by singing at weddings and other different events like that. And then after college, I started playing with local bands and stuff like that. And eventually I got discovered actually right after COVID by a label in Nashville. And they decided to do a development deal with me for a year. So we did that. I released my first song to country radio, which is the song we're going to be talking about, Working on a Hangover. And then a year later, they said, all right, let's do a full label deal. And so I signed that last year. So I'm in the middle of working on an album. I got another music video that I'm flying out to do in October. And so, yeah, got a lot of fun stuff going on.
I like it. What are some of your influences?
Oh boy. So I'm a little bit country and I'm a little bit rock and roll. So I would say
A
that my
little bluesy too, I
influences,
think.
yeah, a little bluesy too. So I would say everything from Olivia Newton-John, Dolly Parton, Melissa Etheridge, of course, Stevie Nicks, um, and yeah, there's Rita Coolidge. I grew up listening to my dad's vinyl albums of Rita Coolidge, and she's got that little smooth silk in her voice. I always like that, and even some Sheryl Crow. Yeah.
So who are you listening to right now? Like who's your favorite one to crank the radio when
I,
you're cruising those California
yep.
highways?
I have to say, my new crush is Lainey Wilson. Her storytelling in her music is fantastic, and she's got a little bit of that that gravel in her voice that I like, and also Chris Stapleton. I mean, his storytelling too. I'm really into the storytelling. I think because I'm doing a lot more songwriting than I've ever done in my life, and so I really listen to the stories behind the songs. So I think those two are probably my latest greatest.
It takes something because everybody has something that's sort of their soundtrack that they're kind of playing their life along to all the time. And those seem like good choices to me.
Yeah, yeah, no, I have a lot of different influences. I grew up listening to music in the 80s too, so a lot of that influenced me as well. But definitely country has always been there just because I do think that that's the best storytelling around is country music.
It
Yeah.
is. It is for sure. Well, you've been starting to see some serious signs of success. We've been playing Working on Hangover, and that and another one of your tunes, Good on Me, they popped up in the Music Row radio charts. I had Good on Me playing a little bit earlier today, and it has a really blues rock country because I've heard a lot of country rock, but this has it's got a real kind of a sultry angle to it. It just sounds much like the blues.
It does. And that song is really special to me because that was actually the first song that I wrote when I signed my deal in Nashville. And I was writing with a gentleman by the name of Pete Salas. And he's done songs with Maddie and Tay. He's done songs for a lot of other artists too. So I knew he had the resume. And so I was actually writing, journaling in the airport on my way to my label, and I brought the song in, And Pete Salas took a look at it and he goes, you got some good stuff here. He goes, we can work with this. And then he kind of took it and brought it to a whole other level. And I was just amazed at how in a 3-hour period, we had this amazing song from what was kind of what I felt like was more like a California girl poem, and he took it to a country, like a real song. And yeah, I love that too, that kind of sexiness, that sultriness in that song. And that's kind of what we were getting at, that the feels of a first love. And when you're kind of in that honeymoon phase and everything's just, romantic and beautiful. And you can kind of tell when someone has that look when they're in love. And that's kind of what that song's about.
Yeah, you guys really brought that one to life.
Yeah, thank you.
So how would you describe the process of writing? I mean, do you lean more toward the, kind of having to experience it directly, or do you go more of telling a story, that's, real life or fiction? How do you approach that part of the storytelling thing?
It's funny because it's probably a little of both. Like when I first started writing with my label, I had a lot of stories that I would kind of dig up and let's work this into a song. And so I did a lot of that. And then I found out we were writing so many songs. I mean, we were writing at one point, I think I did like 7 songs in 1 week. And so it's like, okay, I got to find some new inspiration here. So I started kind of, digging deep, and I was like, it doesn't have to always be about me. And so I started thinking about, other things like we just wrote a song with the theme of lipstick on a coffee cup, and how sometimes love can last even longer than lipstick on a coffee cup, because we all know how long that can last on a coffee cup, even through dishwashing cycles. And so we came up with this song called Longer Than Us, and it's all themed around that. So I'm just really starting to find the creativity just in not only your own stories, but just kind of talking about anything, objects, other people's stories, all kinds of things. Yeah.
Well, speaking of storytelling, and not to get too far off music, but I also saw you published a children's book called Find Your Voice. What's
I
that about?
did.
What inspired it, and where can we get it?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that before we move on to
Yeah.
the song.
So I actually have it right here. This is my children's book. It's called Find Your Voice. And it's really my life story in a children's form, because I was extremely shy as a child, and I was bullied and picked on really bad because of my shyness. And so I found out that through music, it was a way that I could communicate with people and they related to it. And so all of a sudden, I had people that started wanting to have me sing, and they were very excited by my singing. And I developed a lot of friendships through that, and it really helped me mature and grow. And so Find Your Voice is really about children finding their own unique voice, whether it's through painting, it could be a sport, no matter what it is, but finding a way to speak to the world and influence the world through like your, favorite hobby or talent. So that's what Find Your Voice is about.
Interesting. And where can we get it?
Amazon.
All right.
I've got it in a lot
That's
of the
all anybody
local.
needs to hear, isn't it?
That's all they need to hear. I've got it at local bookstores here in Folsom, California. But yeah, you can get it on Amazon.
Awesome. Well, we're here to talk about your video for Working on a Hangover. Tell us a little bit about that one before we play it. Kind of give us a little insight into, what it's about and what we're about to hear.
Yeah, so Working on a Hangover came about. I was writing a co-write with Dustin James, who's done a lot of songs with me out in Nashville. And so I was on probably my 4th songwriting session of the day. I was pretty tired. I was kind of out of ideas. And he came in with his guitar and he just started playing this little lick, working on a hangover. And he's like, what do you think of that? And I'm like, well, I'm out of ideas, so let's work with it. And so we just sat down, and probably within less than an hour, we had a song. And it's just, it's so downtown Nashville. If you've ever been, it's like Broadway itself. And it's, all the bars, all the music. That's where you're going to go on a Friday, Saturday night is downtown Nashville. And so that's really kind of the theme of the song is, you have a long week. It's time to go let off some steam. Let's go listen to good music. Let's have a few drinks and work on a hangover. So that's how the whole idea came about. And then what was exciting is when they decided to do a music video for it, they said, you know what, we're going to do it right down on Broadway in Nashville. And I'm like, yes, that's the best place for it. So we went down and we shot for about a 12-hour period and got some great footage. We did some in studio too, but we were downtown. We went down about 9 o'clock and we were there till about 1 a.m. just doing those shots in Nashville.
Well, let's let off some steam right now. I'm ready to play it. How about you?
Let's do it.
Fantastic. You're watching Cynthia Renee's video for Working on a Hangover here on AIM Country Music Television.
All week I've been running that race, up at 6, putting on my face, rushing out the door and right into a traffic jam. Putting out fires and climbing that ladder, trying not to starve while the boss gets fatter. Putting on a smile, acting like I give a damn. But it's Friday night and I'm finally free. There's just one deadline I gotta meet. I'm working on a hangover, full steam ahead. I'm working on a hangover. Hey, hey, bartender, one more round. I'm working on a hangover. I'm working on a hangover. I'm always working on me to be the best me I can be. I don't miss my daily dose of Dr. Oz. I hit the gym and I try to eat right, meditate and I pay my tithe. Everything I do, I give it my best shot. But I'm all worn out and I need a break. Tonight there's one change I wanna make. I'm working on a full steam ahead, I ain't slowing down. I'm working on a hangover. Hey, hey, bartender, one more round. Come on, bartender, give it one more round. 'Cause there's gonna be pain come the morning light, but that's okay, 'cause tonight working on a hangover. Working on a hangover. I'm working on a hangover. Full steam ahead, I ain't slowing down. I'm working on a hangover. Hey, hey, bartender, one more round. I'm working on a hangover. I'm working on a hangover.
Nice work. You're obviously filming in Nashville. Tell us about the video, about your actors, producer, videographer. How did you pull off all these shots and without
Oh
getting
my
run over
gosh.
downtown?
Yeah, so the guys that were involved in the production of this, I mean, they were just pros. They knew exactly what to do. It was my like first professional video production, so I just kind of followed their lead. And I also had like a makeup hair team that put me together, and so it's kind of like we started at like it was probably 5 a.m. doing hair and makeup. Then we went into the studio and I watched them transform the studio into this just really cool with the smoke and the lights and all that. And then so we shot there for about 4 or 5 hours and then took a break and then did a change of wardrobe, and then we headed downtown. And what was funny is we actually got to shoot part of the video at Kid Rock's bar. He has a rooftop bar. And so we got to go up on the top level there, and we got a lot of the public involved. There was some gals that were having a bachelorette party. And so we were able to get in on that and get some of them involved in the fun as well. So it ended up, a lot of it was just very in the moment, and that's what made it really fun.
Yeah, looks like you had a good team, like you were being swept along through this video.
Absolutely. Yeah. It was just, we didn't want to stop. I mean, it was 1 a.m. and we're like, my feet are all swollen from wearing high heel boots, but I don't care. Let's keep going. So we did a couple more shots, and then we're like, okay, they're like, I think we have more than enough for the video. I'm like, all right. So, but it was a blast, and a great team of people around the whole thing.
Exactly. Well, I see you have a tour going through Northern California right now, and you recently completed a radio tour through Tennessee and Alabama. So before I let you sneak out of here, how about telling us where to find you on stage, online, and where we can just buy or listen to all this music?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can go to my website, which is CynthiaReneeMusic.com. And Renee is RENEE.com, no accent or anything on it. So you can find all my socials on there, but I'm Cyn Renee Music, CYN Renee Music for Instagram, and Cynthia Renee Music for Facebook. So yeah, you can get you can stream my music. I'm on all the major streaming platforms as well for both Good On Me, which is my newest release, climbing the charts, and working on Hangover. Yeah.
Outstanding. Well, thank you for coming on the show today, Cynthia. I really enjoyed the visit.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cynthia Renee. So what do you guys think? Is Working on a Hangover going to be your new favorite song? This has been Mark Gilia for AIM Country Music Television. Thank you for watching.
Full steam ahead, I ain't slowing down.